Gary, you had the lads in yesterday to have a look at a video nasty. Was it as bad as you feared at the time? Because sometimes when you look at back at these games, they're not quite as bad as you think.
No, it was poor. It was poor, and we wanted to make sure that the players saw the lack of entertainment in their game, and just remind them that we're in an entertaining business, and everybody, you can have an off game some days, but there's no excuse for not necessarily showing a commitment and a work rate. I think that was a little bit better than maybe what I thought. Certainly nowhere near the standard we need, but it was just our quality on the day. We couldn't keep possession, and that was poor because we are a possession-based team. Of course, we played a team that stopped you doing that. I keep putting it in behind you, and I know the game well. It's a percentage game that they played, which is always very difficult to play against. But I backed my players on the day to outplay them, and they didn't do that on the day. So that's a lesson learned from all of us, and just makes it a little bit more difficult to pick the next team. But the video was just about them realising how little they did, and be a little bit embarrassed by your own performance, and hopefully they're young enough to be learning all the time and wanting to learn. And I think, in my opinion, they're good enough. We've got a good enough group that they can put it right pretty quick.
Because you were a little bit, obviously you beat Bromley, but you were a little bit frustrated with 1-2 performances after that match as well, weren't you?
Well, we was, yeah. We didn't start well, did we? The second half was decent, but there's 2 or 3, 4 or 5 new players. They're hearing new information. Some of the players that were here last year forget the information, and then all of a sudden it can look a little bit all at sea. Certainly didn't recognise our game on the day, and that's what I always pride myself on. And my teams, I need to recognise my game in them, and they've got to recognise when they get it right. And obviously now, from the video, they've recognised when they've got it badly wrong. So, it's 2 games into the season. What they say, we're 2 points or something off second and 3 points off first. But we need to, you need to get a run of wins or a run together. You need to be up there after sort of 10 games, because it's very hard in the National League to catch up without having a very long run of wins. So it's we've made it plain to them that these are the important times early on in the season to pick up your points. But we've had an early lesson, so let's see if we can the boys can respond to it.
Because you had such a wonderful season last season, but when I'm sure that didn't happen too often, but maybe even if they're only at 90%, they'd still be good enough to get the wins. Is it a case now they've got to learn that that's not going to work in National League?
Definitely, every level you go up is a higher level, and that you have to concentrate a little bit more. You've got to be a little bit quicker, a little bit sharper. You've got to think quicker. I think that's the big thing. Good players think quicker. They take in pictures. They don't just look over there and not see what they've, not take in what they've seen. Players have got to know the moving game and take in the picture and have that for their next move. So unfortunately, on the day we didn't have that, but we have got players that have got that, but it just didn't come to fruition on Tuesday.
Now, no, obviously there's going to be no easy games, and you've already touched on that. One of your answers gave my colleagues earlier in the season, but you have got quite a difficult run, particularly with the away matches in August, and obviously this one at Bromley isn't another tough test because they're a decent side. Yeah,
they've put a lot of money into a new budget. I think this is the year they've decided that they're going to give it a little bit of a go. So yeah, you just took me out of a room with Downsy. We've just been watching Bromley's game, and they're a decent team, and it's going to be another difficult game. But I don't think you can, in this league, you can't show a group of 5 games where it's not a difficult period of time. We got to know that we got to be on top form every week if you're going to get promoted, because other teams have got qualities as well, and if you let them play and show their qualities, then they're going to win games as well. So we've got to make sure that our qualities come out very quickly.
And when you say give it a go this season for Bromley, I mean, is that sometimes the way that clubs have to go about it? You know, there's 1 year when that is the year you've got to maybe throw all your eggs in that basket.
Yeah, I think some teams do that. I think you run in the risk of it not happening that year, and you've spent all your money. Whoever's putting the money in, so you know we're still trying to build here. I mean, I think our team is the youngest average team. I think it's around about 21 and a half in the league, and the next one nearest to us is 23, 24, I think. So, you know, we're sort of building, if you like, trying to build. But with young players, you have to get quick learners. But they can be influenced with new ideas and new ways of doing things, and they're not set in their ways. So hopefully we can get Torquay's DNA into them pretty quick.
How much pressure does that put on the likes of you and Aaron? You know, because you've touched on the fact that they're young. I mean, you really need to make sure they know exactly what they're doing as they go out on the pitch, whereas more experienced players may be able to draw on that wealth of experience to work it out on the afternoon.
Well, it's learning, isn't it? It's repetition. It's getting them to believe in what they're doing is right, getting them to enjoy the learning, i.e. the training, and then they need to get the rewards to really believe in it. And that's, I suppose, the same as when we were all kids, 5 and 6 at school. You know, that's how you learn. It's all that repetition stuff, but it's got to be fun. And sometimes, if it doesn't come off, you have to chastise them like you do, like we were as schoolboys. Probably in our day a little bit more chastised than they are nowadays. But anyway, that's all part of learning, and you know we thrive on that. You know, me and Downsy enjoy working with players that when we know we've got the belief at some point, and that they totally believe in their teammates as well. That's really important.
You told us this time last week that you will be looking to make changes all the way through the first couple of months, and presume that's in your mind again for Saturday?
Well, only because until you've had sort of a group of 10 games, you don't really know who your best team is. You know, you don't know the consistent ones just yet, and you know, over the 2 games we've been a little bit inconsistent, as I'm sure all the other teams might feel, except Halifax, who've won 2 games on the trot. So you have to tinker with it a little bit within games, let alone from game to game, and that's what I do. And when people know that eventually the manager's going to pick a team that he trusts the most at that moment in time, they'll hope to be in it, because at that point you start playing a very, you know, if the team starts becoming consistent, you keep that team, keep that going.
Sure. Any changes in the injury situation?
Yeah, we don't think Liam Davis is too far away now, nor is Dicko, but I think the thing with Liam is he's recovered and he's very fit. He's been, you know, Kai's been working with him and he's very fit, so it's not a fitness thing. It's just that it's the period of time that the doctors have given him, the specialists, for what he had to heal inside, not on the outside. It's on the inside. So. And then they feel, you know, once that's healed, and we've only got, I think, a few days to go, so he's not necessarily having any contact yet, training sessions. He could have, and he's raring to go, but we're keeping to the plan. So that's a few days' time. So when he's ready with that, he'll be fit enough as well, so that's good. We haven't got to wait 6 weeks for him to get pre-season fit.
No new knocks?
No, just mentally. we knocked him a little bit at half time and at the end of the game, and obviously you know, when supporters sort of boo their own team, then that's a bit of a knock as well, and quite rightly. You know, they're there to be entertained, and when it doesn't happen, they show their give their thoughts. But we got a good group of lads here, and they're not doing it for any other reason other than that they've just had a bad day on the day, and hopefully they'll show and give something back in the next sort of 2 or 3 games to show that hopefully that was a one-off. We don't know that, but let's wait and see. But we owe the away supporters a game, so if we can give it to them straight away, at Bromley, then we'll all be friends again. Yeah.
When you took Ruari and Opie off just before half time,
Yeah.
Ruari ran towards you,
Yeah.
you know, and Opie, you know, there was no slumped shoulders or kind of hands thrown up in the air, and I imagine that. I'm sure you were thinking about lots of other things at the time, but I'm sure that summed up for you. In other words, those two players were only thinking of the group rather
Correct.
than that you were
and
having.
that's come through education with them as well.
Yeah.
Because I had the opposition coach, not Tim Flowers, but one of the other coaches, a little one, and he was saying to our boys as they come off, "That's embarrassing. The manager's embarrassed you. You know, just trying to gain points type thing." But the lads done that because they know why I do it.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, you only take people off if you feel they've been ineffective, and generally they will know that it hasn't gone their way.
Yeah.
It's not me trying to embarrass them, of course it's not. And also I do it because it's important that when we're working out how to play in the second half, you need them in the dressing room.
Woking last season comes to mind.
Woking, exactly.
Yeah.
He's exactly the same. And unfortunately, Rory was a...
oh, yes, he was, wasn't he?
That's the word, precipitate.
he was one of the ones taken off then as well.
Yeah, but he had a great season.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He had a fantastic season, and he's improving all the time. And you know, we need Rory and we want Rory. So I would never dream of losing him in the head.
Yeah.
So what we do, you know, we make sure that the ones that are coming on, instead of warming up outside, they can warm up in the 5 or 10 minutes in the game.
Yeah.
Feel a part of it, and then you're talking to the whole group who are going to play the second half, basically.
Yeah.
And the lads know that.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't never do it to embarrass somebody.
No,
That's not the point.
No.
They know it's a professional way of doing it, and the other boys know that might happen.
Yeah. I imagine you were actually thinking of doing it just before they got the third goal, which is
we was.
That was probably a killer, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I mean, if you, that's why they had to look at the stats and they had to look at their own game.
Yeah.
You know, the left back and the right back were putting in so many crosses, it was unbelievable, and we never stopped the cross, and we didn't get in behind them as well. So you stick Rory in there and Opie to be quick players, strong players, to make their wing backs go back. Well, that wasn't happening. You know, no way. And they know our game plan, and if that game plan is not working right for whatever reason, then we have to change the plan.
Yeah.
Change the players, of course, to change the plan.
Yeah.
And second half, I wouldn't say we'd done better, but we certainly had a 10-minute spell where we had missed a penalty, and we had a lot of chances. I mean, I'm thinking of Kalala's volley that hit the goal. I mean, their goalie was magnificent on the day.
Yeah.
He saved that. He saved Carl Cameron's header.
Yeah. I think Manny hit the post or the outside of the post, didn't he?
We had a very good 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And
I think Calvin actually thought he'd scored. I'm sure he put his arm up.
Well, he
didn't
did.
When the bloke blocked it.
Well, he only had to get his foot on it, which he did, but the goalie blocked it from 2 yards, sort of thing. The penalty miss killed them.
Yeah.
And I was a bit disappointed that they then all went back to where they were 10 minutes previous, because the penalty was sort of the end part of our good run.
Yeah.
And then they subconsciously they felt that they weren't going to get the game back, so we went into a bit of a slumber again, which was a bit annoying for me, because it's all about the next game then, and we've got to just try and get our game going.
Yeah. I suppose on the night, everybody talks about team selections. Everybody's an expert in all of that, and formations, etc., etc. It was a physical test on Tuesday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And all right, there might not be. Every team is not going to be like Solihull, but I'm sure we'll run into that type of stuff again. Maybe not 7 of them 6'3" or whatever they are and everything. But you touched on it afterwards. Was saying that the basic sort of stuff that you expect to see from your team, the closing down, that wasn't quite there.
No, it wasn't, because I'm sorry to interrupt. I didn't know you had another part of
No, go on.
question.
Yeah.
for the sake of the public at home, I thought I'd better dive in.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to close down with a team putting it in behind you all
Yes.
the time. You've got to make sure that when you get it, which is generally deep in your half,
Yeah.
to get up the other end,
Yeah.
you've got to pass the ball.
Yeah.
Or you play the same game, and when you get it, you stick it in behind them,
Yes.
and then that allows
Yeah.
you to get
Yeah.
up. So, which we didn't do
No.
at all on the day anyway, very well. So, it's very difficult when you're playing that type of team
Yeah.
to get you closing down.
Yeah.
Because the ball's just going over your head.
Yeah.
And I know that, as I say, I know the game because
Sure.
me and John Beck went from the 4th division to one game away from what is now the Premiership, playing that game.
Yeah.
So we know it can be
Yeah.
useful. And what people might say is, well, why are you not playing that? Well, because nowadays I think more people suss that game out, if you like, and you've got to get that type of player into your club, or is already into your club, that plays like that. We've got a lot more. We've got a lot of ability in our team, and when it comes out, I think that's probably more entertaining
Yeah.
when it comes out. So we're hoping to win games playing that entertaining football, which is what we've done so far at Torquay.